Save your expensive carpet. Our pet doorbell rings when a pet stands next to the door for more than 30 seconds. The world's smartest RFID tag will let you know when your pet needs to go outside, and your purchase will help Medivice LLC create talking cottages for veterans with traumatic brain injuries. Order the Door Jam transmitter and collar RFID tag with a 1-year battery and wireless doorbell for only $249 with free shipping to U.S. locations. Your purchase will help Medivice LLC create life-saving monitoring devices for veterans with traumatic brain injuries. 40% of the casualties in Iraq and Afghanistan were caused by improvised explosive devices like this one, recorded by a driver's head camera. More than 300,000 veterans came home with brain injuries. All of the soldiers in this photo survived, but 3 had brain injuries. Back home, the big killers become infections, falls, and medication errors, which are the number 1, number 2, and number 3 causes of accidental death in the U.S. Thin antennas under carpet and other floor coverings will be used to detect falls, hand washing, and late medication. The veteran and attendants will wear an RFID tag containing 3 perpendicular antennas and a processor. Similar tags will be attached to medications and food trays. Falls will be detected when the patient's ID tag remains close to the floor. Each floor antenna will transmit a different number identifying the location. When the patient falls, his ID tag will transmit 2 numbers. The first number will identify the patient, and the second number will identify the location of the fall. Sensors inside mattress and chair pads will detect wetness, respiration, and when a weight shift is needed. Visitors who forget to wash their hands will be reminded to wash by displaying a camera image of their head on top of a bug. The cartoon display will have a caption at the bottom asking the visitor to wash his hands. Video nurse call will be offered using our telepole invention, which will hold the Wi-Fi tablet next to a bed, chair, or toilet. Medivice life-saving monitoring devices will be built into talking cottages. Each talking cottage will connect via covered sidewalks to a central building where medical and recreational facilities will be located. In this drawing, the cottages are shown around the edge of the covered sidewalk. Here is a short video showing our Medivice product being used in a nursing home. The same RFID electronics will be used to help veterans with traumatic brain injuries and will also detect when your pet is standing next to a door.
Sometimes patients have unexpected side effects from medications they've been given, occasionally overestimating their physical abilities. This patient wakes up with an urgent need to use the restroom. He thinks he's just groggy from sleep and ignores the warning signs that something's not right. While Mr. Smith may not be fully aware of what's happening to him, the Medivice ground proximity system is watching. Force of impact monitors, or help buttons, won't detect every fall. In this case, the patient has fallen slowly and is disoriented. Fortunately for him, he's in a Medivice instrumented facility. The antenna system under the flooring material detects that his wristband has been in proximity to the ground too long, indicating a near-floor event. An alarm appears on the monitors in the patient's room and at the nurse's station. Our smart notification technology immediately identifies the staff member who is closest to the patient's room and alerts them. Medivice is fine-tuned to minimize false alarms and prevent alarm fatigue, so staff know the need is most likely a real one, and the Medivice system keeps watching and will alert the next closest staff member if the first doesn't respond within a time deemed safe by your facility. When the nurse arrives, the system recognizes his or her credentials automatically. As soon as the nurse determines that the patient is conscious and breathing, she helps him into a safe position, then uses the Medivice wall monitor to alert the nearest physician on duty, who gets the message almost instantaneously. And again, When the doctor enters Mr. Smith's room, the system logs his presence and expects him to wash his hands. And when he uses the MedEyes soap dispenser, the system records his compliance as well, all without requiring extra interactions or steps that may be low priorities in an emergency situation. The patient is fortunate. The doctor determines that his fall wasn't serious and was probably caused by a side effect from the pain medication he received earlier. But to be safe, the doctor orders additional tests. He asks the nurse to notify the radiology department and find a wheelchair to transport the patient. Again, MedEye's smart technology saves time and effort. The nurse uses the monitor in the patient's room to access the system's asset tracking application and find the nearest available wheelchair. Some systems are accurate to plus or minus 30 feet, prompting a search in multiple rooms or even on different floors. But the MedEyes system gives you 99% room-level accuracy. In this case, MedEyes finds the wheelchair just 20 feet away. The nurse quickly retrieves the equipment and returns to Mr. Smith's room, washing her hands again as directed before helping the patient into the wheelchair. While the patient is undergoing his tests, the nurse prepares a MedEyes ankle bracelet and updates his status to indicate that he's at an elevated risk for falls. When the next shift nurse comes on duty, she'll see an orange indicator on the monitor in his room that lets her know he needs help getting out of bed. And when she's not in the room, the MedEyes system will monitor Mr. Smith's ankle bracelet for its proximity to the floor, instantly alerting the staff before another accident can happen.